For today's video, I'm going to be doing a day in the life of a second lieutenant MP officer, and I'm going to start the day off with some PRT, physical readiness training, which is, in the military, that's what everyone should be starting their day off with. So today we have a mini Murph challenge, and we're going to be doing half a mile to start it off with, 50 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, 150 air squats, and half a mile to finish it off. So let's get it, honey badgers. Second platoon, be savage, stay hungry. So I'll be back after PRT.
2, 3, 5, 1. Other time.
Okay, so this is my platoon area. So we have the American flag right when you come in, Korean flag, a company flag through the red lines, dominance from the north, and the honey badger, because honey badger does not care at all. So be savage, stay hungry. What's the motto?
Be savage, stay hungry. Or
That is our motto. If you look on the honey badger, it's got red eyes. It's pretty sick. This is my platoon sergeant's desk, Sergeant First Class Ventura, and of course, I had to make it home. The best state, the best country, the Texas flag. Definitely not Florida though.
nah, sir. Florida's the best state.
Typically, I try to come into work at 0900, sometimes it's 0930, and I come in, I check my emails and everything, and once that's done, I try to see which email is the most important email. So I look to see if I got an email from my commander, my company commander, or if I got an email from someone from battalion. Now, another thing is, I try not to open emails just yet until I get to them, because then you'll forget about them, or at least I'll forget about them, so I leave them unread, so then I can click on the unread mail and then start going through my emails. Whenever you come into work, it's very key that you have like a game plan on what you're going to do when you come into work. And then once I have my game plan down to like what I want to accomplish, then I brief my squad leaders on what I want them to accomplish for the day. And if they need any if they have any questions for me or need any help from me, and then we go on about today. We have a training schedule, and this is what I brief the squad leaders on every morning. So I bring the squad leaders in, and I talk to them. Pretty much I'm telling the squad leaders like what we're doing for the day, giving them a brief on everything I expect from them and the orders and stuff. And then once that's done, then I give them, let them go do their thing.
That's the only thing, man. It's like if we just get the soldiers moving, like everything's gonna go. It's gonna just be smoother, man. I don't know like what's up with them right now. I think we just need to get the GIs together, man, and like just talk to them and like just be real with them, because like at the same time, like kind of more so like it makes our job harder. It really does. Like whenever we go and do shit or do stuff and like we need them to like move, they ain't moving and we can't really like get nothing done.
All right, so I just got done briefing my squad leaders on what the day is gonna look like, and now, or in 7 minutes, I have a meeting with the Battalion XO and the other companies, leadership empowerment campaign, where we empower leaders throughout the peninsula. So we're gonna talk about it, make sure all of our deadlines, that we're on the same page pretty much, right? So anytime I have a meeting, I always print out the slide so that I can actually see it, the physical copy up close versus just on the screen, right? So I'm gonna VTC in and get to it. All right, so it's lunchtime right now. I don't know why. This definitely does not happen in the day of a life of a second lieutenant, but I'm about to get, what's happening to me?
We're practicing IV, sir. So we're just making sure the medics are proficient in our skills, and thank you for volunteering.
So yeah, we're gonna get to this thing right now.
Pull back, aspirate, go, aspiration.
See how it's going?
All right. This is our sergeant's time training for the week. We dim the lights inside this room, trying to throw ourselves off a little bit, get in an environment that we're not normally in. We're usually outside in the sun or inside the medic cage or somewhere where lights are on. So we wanted to change it up a little bit and improve our skill set and try something in a different environment than we normally do.
So that's Specialist Brenneman, my medic for 2nd Platoon, Honey Badgers, be savage, stay hungry. So yeah, he just stuck me with an IV, right? Yeah, for some training, some great quality training. If you're a leader, try to, don't be that wuss that's gonna be like, nah, I don't wanna be stuck. Like, be help them train. That's what I'm trying to get at.
We're about to go do secondary PT. My squad's had a trend of having a history of failure of PT tests. So basically, there's a resolution to that. We're going to do 2-a-day PT sessions. So it's only on people with platoon duty. So right now we're on road commitment. So the ones that are on road commitment, they're only doing 1-day PT, but it's going to be one brutal PT session. Now the people that are on platoon duty, they're going to have 2 PT sessions.
Sixes conduct a 100% seatbelt child seat check at gate 1. The class today is going to be prepare an investigator's statement.
Alright, so we're doing a PMCS of our patrol vehicle. First you want to make sure that your takedown lights work because those are the most important ones. Then next are your signal lights, your brake lights, headlights. The easiest way to check that I've been taught is to turn on your headlights and then hit your hazards. So that way the back lights and the front lights work as well. You also want to do a walk around of your vehicle to make sure that the tires are good, they have tread on them, that they're not bald or flat. You also want to inspect the vehicle, make sure that if there's any new dents, label them down so you don't get accused of making them. You also want to look in the back, make sure that there's no previous evidence or any trash back there because you never want to put somebody else in a dirty car.
All right, so that's one of my soldiers. He's about to go on shift. I think it's very important as a leader, as a platoon leader, platoon sergeant, that you go to guard mount. You see your soldiers, so you drop in on them at guard mount because seeing your soldiers, it's very key. Especially as an MP officer, there's gonna be times where you're not gonna be able to see your soldiers who are working the day shift from 0500, so 5 a.m. all the way to 12 p.m. So it's very important. Okay, so I just left the PMO, the Provost Marshal's office. And when you're an MP and you're working the road, there's gonna be 3 different shifts. So there's gonna be day shift, which is gonna be 0500 all the way to 1200. Then there's gonna be swings, 1300 all the way to 2100. And then there's gonna be mids, which is gonna be the mid shift. It's kind of sucks, which is gonna be from 2100 all the way to 0500, 0400, give or take, when the next shift's coming on. But yeah, so guard mount, I think it's very important that a platoon leader should go to guard mount for the day shift, the swing shift, and the mid shift. Not all the time, but check in on your soldiers, let them know you're present. And it's also very important, as a young lieutenant, that you actually know what your people are doing, your soldiers, your troops. Because if you don't know what they're doing, you gotta brief an infantry division commander or something for some reason, and you can't brief what the capabilities are for an MP platoon or a company for some reason, you're gonna look like trash. So that's very important. With that being said, now we're gonna head back up. We're gonna talk to my platoon sergeant so you guys can see what he does as a platoon sergeant. How would you react if I guess another PL, one of your PLs, was just not on the same sheet of music with you and they were just running amok? Y'all weren't talking, they were talking down to you since you have all this experience and a PL typically doesn't have that much experience unless they're prior service. How would you defuse that situation in the most respectable manner? And what's your advice for new PLs? So I'm not his first PL. Whenever you first were a platoon sergeant, how did you feel when it came to going over to that platoon? What was your mindset when it came to having a PL as a battle buddy?
Well, my mindset was normal having a PL because we're trained and taught that your platoon leader is your partner. So the biggest things that I was thinking of is, are we going to be able to mesh? What are our personality differences? How are we going to agree on certain decision-making processes? But after you do a sit-down with your PO and you have a one-on-one understanding of how each other work and jive, then you can create that set standard on where the platoon is going to go. Because to me, my first priority is to make sure that I'm on the same sheet of music as my PL, and the PL's on the same sheet of music as me, so that way there's no conflicting orders being sent out to the troops. And we have each other's backs, so no one can play what we like to call mommy and daddy game constantly with the platoon sergeant and the platoon leader. So that's the first priority for me when I have a brand new PL. Just have a sit down, have a conversation, see what our values and our views are, and see what our visions is to make the platoon in the future. Well, sir, so unfortunately that does happen, where you have the PL and platoon sergeant not on the same sheet of music, and it creates a very toxic environment. It hurts the troops, it hurts the morals. You have the squad leaders who are also enlisted. They're trained and taught to follow directions from the PL, but then they also have that senior enlisted advisor that's in the platoon that they look up to also, which is the platoon sergeant. So you start putting them on a conflicted route. And then if they're conflicted, the troops are conflicted. So if there's a toxic relationship between the platoon sergeant and the PL, and they didn't have that sit down in that first 100 days, then they do need to have that sit down right away and sort out their differences. If that platoon leader is not willing to listen, because sometimes rank does go to an individual's head, then as a platoon sergeant, I just bring in our senior raider, and I'll just bring in the commander, or I'll bring in the first sergeant. We'll have a sit down with the first sergeant and commander on what the situation is, and then we'll hash it out in that meeting. But it will get dealt with, and we'll both understand each other, because the only way we can move forward and make sure that the platoon excels in everything that it does is that the two heads have to be on the same sheet of music regardless. And any indifferences that we will have, we're gonna have to swallow that, because the good of the platoon outweighs what our feelings are ultimately. But leadership is always growing. It is a continuous, living document of ability. It's called growth. It will never stop. The only time leadership stops is because you allow it to stop. And you say, I don't want to grow anymore. This is my leadership style. This is my leadership traits. This is who I am. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Newsflash, the Army is ever changing and it's always growing. And if you can adapt to the inevitability of change, then it's time for you to pick a new profession.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A day in the life of a second lieutenant MP officer. Started the day off with PRT, a baby Little Merv challenge. Went into work, showed you guys how I briefed my squad leaders and everything. After that, showed you guys guard mount, talked about the different shifts, days, swings, and mids, the importance of that as a platoon leader, and giving you guys a little insight into my platoon sergeant and who he is and just what he represents. And he gave you guys a little bit of advice for future platoon leaders and platoon sergeants. So comment down in the video, tell me what you guys saw of the video and what else you guys want to see. I tried to film what I could film. Hope it was enough. Subscribe, like, comment. Really guys, subscribe. It does help me out a lot. Hope everyone's having a great day. If you're not, just please smile, push through the pain, like it will be okay. Ciao.